The first time you heard the name Sejanus, it sounded less like a name and more like a warning. You were carrying records through the palace when you heard shouting.
He is not emperor.
Keep your voice down.
Silence. In Rome, dangerous men were feared long before they were understood. And by then, Sejanus already owned the palace. Officially, Rome belonged to Emperor Tiberius. His statue stood in the forums. His face was stamped onto coins. His orders shaped the empire. But inside the palace, power felt strangely distant. By the time you arrived each morning, the guards were already watching him. Senators lowered their voices when he entered. Some stopped speaking altogether. No crown, no throne, no title of emperor. And yet, everyone in Rome seemed to understand something you did not. Before Rome ever feared Sejanus, Rome had already obeyed him. At first, you assumed he was simply another powerful Roman. Rome was full of ambitious men. Most disappeared. Most were forgotten. But Sejanus never seemed to disappear. Every few months, he somehow stood closer to power. Soon, guards answered to him before they answered to Rome. Then something changed. The emperor stopped staying in Rome, and for the first time, the palace felt different, quieter, more careful, as if Rome itself had started whispering. And somehow, Sejanus was suddenly everywhere. You eventually learned his position. Sejanus commanded the Praetorian Guard. Officially, they protected the emperor. Unofficially, they frightened Rome for years. The guards had lived scattered outside the city. Then Sejanus changed everything. One order, one decision. He brought the Praetorian Guard into Rome. Thousands of armed men, loyal to him, living beside the palace. After that, Rome no longer felt like Rome. And then something changed. People stopped speaking openly. Some senators suddenly disappeared from meetings. Others returned quieter than before. Questions became dangerous. Then came Drusus, the emperor's son, the obvious heir to Rome. He openly hated Sejanus. And Sejanus was not known for forgiveness. Then one day, Drusus became ill. Very ill. And before Rome understood what had happened, Drusus was dead. Officially, it was sickness. Unofficially, Rome whispered something darker, that Sejanus had removed the emperor's son. Then Rome began whispering another story, a dangerous one, that Sejanus had grown close to Livilla, Drusus's widow. Some claimed they were lovers. Some whispered something worse, that together they had removed Drusus. No proof, no confession, only fear. And somehow, Sejanus kept rising. The emperor trusted him more than ever, until eventually Rome stopped asking who ruled. People already knew. By now, Sejanus had almost everything. Power, fear, the loyalty of armed men. But power has a strange habit. Eventually, it begins to feel incomplete. Sejanus wanted something bigger. He wanted legitimacy, a place inside the imperial family. So he made a request. He asked to marry Livilla, the widow of Drusus. To Rome, it felt dangerous. To Tiberius, it felt worse. For the first time in years, the emperor hesitated, and somewhere inside the palace, people quietly began to wonder, had Sejanus gone too far? Then Sejanus made a mistake. He started believing Rome belonged to him. He removed rivals, promoted allies, expanded power, and far away on Capri, Tiberius watched. Quietly, patiently, then one morning, a letter arrived. A message from the emperor. Sejanus expected praise. Instead, Rome stopped breathing. The letter kept going. At first, it sounded harmless. Praise, gratitude, trust. Sejanus relaxed. Then the tone changed. Accusations, warnings, treason. The room changed. No one stood near Sejanus anymore. Men who once feared him slowly stepped away. Then came the order: arrest Sejanus. For the first time in years, Rome saw him afraid. The fall happened fast, terrifyingly fast. The same guards who once protected him turned on him. Friends disappeared. Support vanished. Fear changed sides. Before the day ended, Sejanus was dead. Executed, his body dragged through Rome. The city that once obeyed him turned vicious. People spit, shouted, celebrated. Rome had not loved Sejanus. Rome had feared him. And fear never mourns. For a while, the palace felt quieter. Almost relieved. People spoke louder again, but something stayed with you.
I saw what happened. The plotting, the betrayal. It burdens me.
How quickly Rome changed. How quickly loyalty disappeared. How fear could build a man and destroy him. In Rome, power did not belong to the strongest man. Only the man everyone feared, until they stopped being afraid. And Sejanus learned that too late. Years later, Rome still remembered Sejanus, not as a ruler, not as a hero, but as a warning. Because Rome had a weakness. It always believed dangerous men could be controlled. It believed that with Sejanus, and decades later, it believed it again. You already know his name.